everyone, it's Auret here. This is a follow-up video to one that I released earlier this year explaining the cost of Etsy fees. So earlier this year I released a video on this channel talking about in detail how much Etsy really charges you when you make a sale, or to list the item and when you make a sale. How much fees are involved, what are those fees, etc. So I went into detail on that video and it was crazy. I got so many comments on that, just an outcry from you guys asking questions at the same time saying, oh my God, Etsy is charging so many fees. Some of you guys have decided not to sell on Etsy. So I wanted to throw out this video just as a follow-up and just talking about my tip for how to save on those fees, or how to, what do you do about this whole thing? What do you do about all of these fees? And because I've gotten that question a lot on that video as well. So, what can we do with all these fees? The simple answer is this. If you are going to be selling your artwork, your crafts, your items, your products on Etsy, you have to pay their fees. There's no other way to avoid those fees. You are going to be placing your items under the rules of that platform, and that is what comes with selling your products on Etsy. But there is one other thing that you can control, and that can, if you can reduce that cost, then you can gain more profits. So I'll talk about that thing in a second. But first of all, I just wanted to explain that Etsy, to sell your products on Etsy is like, you're essentially selling on a platform that has everything out of the box for you. It's a packaged platform that has all of the traffic, and a lot of traffic at that. It has an audience that trusts the platform and the site enough that they are willing to give them money to pay for items on the site. So there's a lot of trust between buyers on Etsy in comparison to other platforms. And also at the same time, this audience that Etsy attracts I've found in my experience, is willing to pay a little bit higher than some of the other platforms that I've sold on. But that's just my experience. And I think that's because Etsy has done a good job of really letting people know that there's one-of-a-kind items, there's quality items, really unique things that you can find on this platform. And for that reason, that's what those buyers expect. So the expectations of buyers are high. They're willing to pay a little bit higher than usual. They trust the platform. There's a lot of those buyers. There's a ton of traffic. So that is essentially what you're paying for on the platform. It's like setting up a brick and mortar store, right? If you wanted to open a store in the most happening street in town, in the city, in the central of the city where lots of tourists go there, you can be sure that you're going to be paying a higher rent to set up your store there than if you set it up in the suburbs where there's less traffic. It's the same thing. Etsy, you're pretty much paying, think of it as paying additional advertising dollars so that your listings and your products get in front of more eyes, because they do have that traffic. What you can do is you can only really control the fees that you can control. I can say that probably better, but what you can control is the cost of your products, the cost of of making your items to sell on Etsy. So your production costs, right? The more you can reduce your production costs, the bigger profit you will get. So those are the Etsy fees, and then you have the fees, your production costs, also minus that, and then whatever's left is your profits. So Etsy fees you can't control, production costs you can, equals profits. So the more you can reduce this production cost of your items, the better, the more profits you'll get here in the end. Because this right here, the Etsy fees, is not something you can control or tweak or change, unfortunately, as much as we would love to. So those are my quick 2 cents. I just wanted to throw this video up here sharing those thoughts because of how many comments I got on that video. And if you haven't seen that one, by the way, I'll put a link down to in the description below so you guys can check that out. I go through Etsy fees in great detail, talking about an example, so that you guys can truly understand how it works. So there you have it, guys. If you have any more questions for me, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. I love to hear your thoughts. I do read all of your comments and try to respond to as many of them as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Back from the dead.